All right, I put together a few pictures on the garden just to kind of help let you all see what's going on out there if you haven't been out. So once that's up, this is John Michael in our okra patch. I appreciate all the families that come out and work with us. And as you know, the garden has changed quite a bit. If you can tell over to the left, that's what we had last year, and to the right, what we have this year. We've had some wonderful gifts to the garden, and I'll go into that in a little bit. But from 8 beds, now we have 48 beds, and we have just 2 that have come available from a couple of families that their health is poor. So if anybody wants a bed at this time, we have 2 beds available. Next slide. Okay, one thing I wanted to do while we had this forum is just let you all know who's doing what at the garden, because it's important to recognize everybody's gifts to the garden and their time. Number 1, Ron Blackwell and Ron Harris have just really been there, and with the building of the 48 beds, we couldn't have done it without them. I wanted to recognize both of them for Ron Blackwell putting a plan together of how to deal with these 200 teenagers from Boys and Girls Club of America, and we had a large group of our church members and that came out and worked with us to try to coordinate all those teens, and it was an amazing day. I think we started there at 8 in the morning. The buses rolled in. We had 5 buses of kids that all came out, and at 10 o'clock, and by 2 o'clock, most of the beds had been built and all the soil had been filled. So it was an amazing day, and I'm just thankful to God and thankful to all the families that came out, and Ron Blackwell and Ron Harris, thank you very much. Also, we have received some gifts. Kay White started out by giving us 6 trees, bushes for the orchard, and that was 2 peach, 2 plum, and actually it was 2 peach, 2 pear, a pomegranate, and a fig. And then we had 2 plum given by the Boy Scout up there, that is Pat Irvin. That was for his Eagle Project, and he also gave some shade trees. But his Eagle Project was the planting of all of those trees, so that was a big help. Also, Jenna Perkins and her family, there were 4 trees, red oaks, that her family gave. It was for the cancer walk that her family donated towards the garden, and those are our shade trees along the street. So we're thankful for all those people who have given to the tree effort. Next. All right. One thing that a lot of you probably have heard, but you just don't know what it took from Ron Harris, all the hours that he put in just to make our water flow out there. We had only 1 spigot that we were working with for 2 years, and that was a whole lot of hose hauling from us waterers out there. And last year there were only 3 of us that were dedicated to keeping that garden alive all year, and that was a whole lot of hose hauling from that 1 spigot. So we're so thankful to Ron Harris. He brought a spigot to every single bed, and you'll see down that bottom picture on the right, that spigot's in each bed, and it's been such a blessing. So thanks to Ron. We have a couple of pictures over to the left, and it's just not the water that Ron has helped with, but if you see up to the left, there was, we were wanting to dig post holes, and we had a little auger that's Joe's personal auger, and we got it out there, and it wouldn't work for anything that day. And Ron was like, well, we came out here to dig some post holes, and so he rented that post hole digger up there, and he and Shay went to town, and we got the job done that day. So another instance is, you'll see up the one with the tarp we had the weeds as tall as we were, and it was a rainy day, misty, and not many people came out to help, but Ron was there that day, and I just wanted to thank him so much because it was my family and Ron. And then also, he's just been part of every single bit of it. When the city bought us the shed, he was there helping out. So thanks, everybody, give him a hand. It's been such a blessing to have him part of the garden. Next. Okay, watering teams, like I said, this year is so much better. We had Linda Franklin, who lives at the Lennox house last year, my mother and myself last year, that really kept everything watered, and that's a daily process in the middle of the summer. This year, we have still my mother, who is Gina Wood. Linda Franklin still has a day a week that she waters. Liz Shirey has come on Thursdays, and all of her junior master gardener families and kids come out and help water, and she takes care of all Thursdays, so that's a big load off. Anita Ibbotson, who is also a gardener there, and she's just wonderful. She brought all these rocks, redstone little rocks from Arkansas, her land up in Arkansas. She hauled those down trip by trip from her land, and she put them around our trees, just showing her heart and her love towards the garden. And she also waters on Mondays. Lisa Margraf, I don't know if you've had the pleasure of meeting her, but she goes to the 8:45 service. And then we have Mary Hayward, who also comes with her. Mary and Lisa live together. They're wonderful ladies. If you get a chance to meet them, they're just really God-filled, good people. And then we have Wayne Ellis and the PAC 195, who water on our Sunday mornings. So thanks to all of them. Next slide. Okay, credit where it's due. This is that terrible day that was spitting rain at us, and we had a work day planned that was going to bring all those 200 kids within the next 3 weeks, and we needed to get that tarp down and everything measured, and it was just my mother there in the middle, and Ron Harris and Romeo, who's by my husband, working, and there were just so few of us out there working. And then when it warmed up, we got a couple more that came. I know that Gifford came, and then also Dave Crittenden. But it was those couple of hours in the morning when it was just the few of us that showed up that really, you just wondered, are we going to get this done? And so I wanted to thank those people. But those people that always come to our work days, you can read them, but it's my husband, my kids, my mom, Brenda Brock, Ron Harris, Chief Martinez. Thanks, Chief, he's there all the time. And Dave Crittenden. Thanks, guys. If you haven't been out to the garden to see Roy Miller's picnic tables, you need to go, because they are great craftsmanship. Beautiful tables that he built, and he told me that he didn't have a plan, he just started measuring and put them together. It was gorgeous. And they're good quality, they're sturdy, they're going to last us a long time. We just moved them from where they were over to the shade, and we enjoyed them yesterday during our potluck lunch. So thank you very much, Roy. Chief Martinez built a beautiful bench, and I don't know if all of you have seen it. It was by the fig tree, which I've got a picture of him over on the bench he built, where it was by the fig tree. And just yesterday we moved it in between the two trees, batches of trees, just to the east of the row garden, and it's gorgeous there. So go down to the garden, take your picture on that bench, and thanks very much, Chief. Appreciate that. Ron Harris also, his latest gift, I should say Ron and Maureen. Thanks, Maureen, so much for letting him be out there help us all the time. But they have donated enough to get professional lawn care so that it's a big weight off us, and it's looking gorgeous if you drive by. It's nice and trimmed, and it looks great. Thank you. Okay, Boy Scout involvement. There have been a couple of Eagle Scout projects out there. One I mentioned before was the trees, and one was those 5 metal and wood benches That was an Eagle Scout project. Another one was an Eagle Scout brought his troop out and helped us put the fence up. Of course, Chief was mostly the one that was teaching them how to do it, but they were there and they were present. So we appreciate that. And then the latest gift, and I think that makes the garden, is the flagpole from the PAC 195. That was our last big work day, 35 people, and it was wonderful. They all showed up, little kids with great attitudes, and dads helping along, so that was great. And we just had a flag retirement ceremony to the back. Joe welded this trash can, and we had a fire there, and we retired, I think, about 14 flags. It was a great time, and the Fenimores came out. We had Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts, and a nice flag ceremony. So. And here we have the Girl Scout. You notice my daughter's there. She's really got the brunt of, and my son and my husband, the brunt of all we do out there. I employ them to do a lot of stuff that nobody else will do. So there she is on a hot summer day, helping me bring all of those bricks over to the garden from the city. So we have brought their Girl Scout and Boy Scout troops in, and the Girl Scouts just worked on their rain garden again. It was getting all weedy, and they brought it back to being nice, ready for planting again. They've helped with a lot of our social events. The July 4th party last year, and the patriotic party, we called it this year. The fall party, where they all dressed up and had a lot of fun, and potluck again. And they helped out a lot, bringing water to all those 200 kids the day that we built all the beds. So it's been great to have both of our Girl Scout troops. One of them, I need to get the number of who they have. They have a little bed, and they're a Daisy troop, so I need to get their number and add that to it. But, okay. And then Liz's Junior Master Gardener group, I need to get more pictures of you because there are a lot of kids and families involved, but it's great. They're mostly homeschooled families, homeschooled kids, all of them are. And they're just a wonderful group of kids of all age groups, and they're out, and that's part of their lesson. They're learning in the garden and growing in the garden, and we have quite a few. Some of the smaller beds are assigned out to kids that are over 10, and that's actually part of their curriculum. So it's a beautiful thing, and Liz Shirey and her team member, Amy O'Connor, are responsible for bringing homeschooling to our garden. So we're very proud of them. Thank you. All right, and I just wanted to put some pictures in there of all the people that come to the garden. And if you haven't been out there during one of our parties, we hope you come out because it's a lot of fun. Good people, good food, and good conversation. Okay. Okay, and then the last slide, I just wanted to kind of reiterate what we're doing, what our goals are. We want to paint the garden beds china green. We're very close to getting them painted with the undercoat of paint. You notice they're all different colors right now. That's because paint's expensive, and we've been taking donations of whatever exterior paint is there for the primer, and boy, those blocks sure soak it up. So that's been a blessing. Thanks if you have donated some paint. We're about, I just bought a 5-gallon bucket, and I think that's going to be the last one that we need for the undercoat. So don't send any more. We're good with paint until we get our actual china green. So we're going to have to be buying that, possibly. I've also been talking to Tammy Chan, and she's doing a bridge project down at Great Southwest. And initially I thought she was going to provide green, which was really close to the color that we had picked. But she says, no, it's beige. She just told me this last week, it's beige. But she might say, if she does provide it, we might be able to tint it our color, our original color. So we're needing your prayers on that she will provide that. She's still needing to look at her budget and see if she can. Let's see, back to Eden Gardening. There is a video out, and it's a wonderful video if you haven't watched it. It's a beautiful way of looking at how God gardens, and that's all that has gone on, and leaves that drop somehow cushion and make kind of a protective covering. That's kind of what we're going to go for. Instead of always tilling up the land, we're going to try to keep the nutrients in and add to it by composting, and that's going to be our goal for Russ Glen. And of course, our principles are all organic gardening, so nothing on that property will have pesticides, etc. It'll be all organic. And then also, we want to welcome everybody in the community, that our garden is a place where they can have sanctuary and they're welcome to come. We're working on the worm farm, which we have reused 6 of the beds. We had 8 beds originally, that wood frame. There are 6 of them still there that we've stacked on top, and we're making worm farms out of. Ron Blackwell is working on the lids for those. He was able to get some metal framework from Lone Star Park, and the idea is that we can make the framework and then make the lids for those worm farms. So I'm excited about that. Look for that for the next year. And the signs also, that's another goal. We'd like to put a sign next to Marianne's flower beds on the north and the south side, so 2 signs. And the ultimate goal is to have a garden chapel out on the north side of the garden that people can come and either eat luncheon or pray in. So that's it.